Level 1, the candidate. You arrive at basic underwater demolition training on the beach in San Diego with a shaved head and the belief that wanting it badly enough will be enough. It won't be. There are 200 men in your class. By the end, there will be 40. The instructors don't care about your college degree or that you maxed every fitness test at boot camp. They care about one thing: whether you'll quit. Everything from this moment forward is designed to make you quit. You run 5 miles in boots on soft sand. You swim 3 miles in the ocean wearing fins that tear your heels raw. You carry a 250-pound log over your head with your boat crew. And if one man drops his end, everyone starts over. The strongest man in your class quits on day 12, walks up to the brass bell, drops his helmet liner, and rings it 3 times. The sound carries across the beach. Instructors set out coffee and donuts next to the bell so you can watch. Level 2, the new guy. You graduate the program. You complete advanced combat qualification. 28 more weeks of combat diving, land warfare, demolitions. You earn your trident pin. The gold eagle clutching a trident, an anchor, and a flintlock pistol. They press it into your chest, and you think, this is the beginning. Everything before was the audition. Your rank is Petty Officer 3rd Class, E4, the lowest operational SEAL. You report to your first unit, and you are nothing. The men here have deployments, combat experience, scars, and the kind of silence that comes from having done things they'll never discuss. You carry the heaviest equipment on every operation. You clean weapons that aren't yours. You shut up and learn. Your team is 16 men, 2 officers, 14 enlisted. The team chief is an E7 with 15 years of experience who reads terrain the way you read a menu. He can tell from the way a village dog barks whether the compound ahead is occupied. You think he's exaggerating until the dog barks wrong one night and the compound erupts with automatic fire. Your first deployment is 6 months of direct action raids. You pull security on rooftops while assaulters clear rooms below. Your first firefight lasts 9 minutes. It feels like 9 hours. Rounds snap past your head, and you realize the sound isn't a crack. It's a miniature sonic boom from a bullet close enough to kill you if you'd been 6 inches to the left. After the firefight, your hands shake for 20 minutes. The chief sees it and says nothing. His hands shook once too. They stop around the 3rd deployment. That's also when you stop calling home every night, because talking to your family feels like translating between 2 languages you no longer speak equally. If you want to know what happens next, stay with me. Level 3, the operator. E5, Petty Officer 2nd Class. 2 deployments behind you, and you're starting to understand the rhythm, the workup cycle. 20 months of training before each 6-month deployment. The monotony of range time. Thousands of rounds per week until reloading becomes unconscious. You specialize. Every SEAL picks a skill set that becomes their identity within the team. You become the breacher, the man who opens doors. Sometimes with explosives, sometimes with a ram, sometimes with a shotgun loaded with breaching rounds. You learn how much C4 it takes to blow a hinge without killing everyone on the other side. The answer depends on the door, the frame, the material, the standoff distance. Get it wrong, and people die. The 3rd deployment changes you. Your team extracts a high-value target. The intelligence says he's alone. He isn't. There's a woman and 2 children in the back room. The target pulls a child in front of him while reaching for a weapon. Your teammate takes the shot because there is no other option. The round passes inches from the child's head. You think about that qualifier for months. Each deployment blurs into the next. Different country, different language, same mission. Find the target, fix his location, finish him. You're better at violence and worse at everything else. You can clear a room in 3 seconds and can't sit through dinner without scanning every entrance. She asks if you're okay. You say yes because that's what you've been trained to say. Want to know the cost of leadership? Keep listening. Level 4, the senior operator. E6, Petty Officer 1st Class. Leading petty officer of your unit. You're responsible for the junior guys now, The new ones who remind you of yourself 7 years ago. Eager, undertrained, convinced they're invincible. You were the same way. You know better now. You've been to enough memorial services. You've carried enough flag-draped coffins. An operator on your sister team took a corner too fast during a raid and caught a burst of automatic fire in the chest. His plate stopped most of it. One round found the gap under his arm. He bled out in 3 minutes while the medic worked and the rest of the team finished the clearance. He was 23. You run the unit's daily operations now. Training schedules, equipment maintenance, readiness reports. The paperwork nobody imagines when they think about being a SEAL. For every hour of combat, 1,000 hours of preparation. You've become an administrator who occasionally kicks down doors. Your body shows the mileage. Knees creak from hundreds of parachute landings. Backaches from years of carrying 75 pounds through mountains and deserts. You tape your ankles and swallow painkillers like candy. Everyone tells the corpsman they're fine. The corpsman knows you're all lying. What happens when leadership demands more than your body can give? Stay tuned. Level 5, the Chief. E7, Chief Petty Officer. The most important rank in the teams. Officers plan operations. Chiefs make them work. You're the team chief now. 16 men under your direct leadership. The team commander is an 03, a lieutenant, younger than you by 5 years and less experienced by a decade. He graduated from the Naval Academy. He's smart, motivated, well-educated. He's also never been shot at. You have, dozens of times. Your job is to turn his plans into reality without getting anyone killed and without making him feel like you're running his team, even though you are. Your 8th deployment, a nighttime raid on a compound where an explosives expert operates. His devices have killed 11 Americans in 4 months. You've briefed your team using their photos as motivation. The intelligence is solid. The plan is sound. Everything goes wrong anyway. The entry point is barricaded. The breach fails. The target opens fire through walls. One of your operators takes a round in the leg. Femoral artery nicked. You drag him behind cover. Apply a tourniquet so tight he screams. Call the quick reaction force and continue directing the assault while rounds punch through plaster around you. The target is killed. Your operator survives. You write the after-action report on a helicopter with his blood still drying on your gloves. Nobody will ever read it except people with the right clearance. What happens when the mission costs more than you can pay? Keep listening. Level 6, the marriage. This isn't a rank. It's what happens between the ranks. It's the part the recruitment videos don't show. Your marriage ended during your 6th deployment. She called it irreconcilable differences. The difference was that you left for 7 months at a time and came back as someone she didn't fully recognize. Each deployment stripped away something civilian and replaced it with something operational. She'd find you at 4 in the morning, standing in the backyard, scanning the tree line for threats that don't exist in suburban Norfolk. Your kids are 9 and 12. Your son stopped asking when you'd be home. He checks the calendar on the refrigerator and counts the days himself. Your daughter drew a family portrait in school. You're not in it. Not because she forgot, because her teacher asked her to draw the people who live in her house, and you don't. You live in team rooms and safe houses and aircraft. You keep the drawing in your locker. You look at it before every deployment, and it hurts in a way that bullets never have. You've been shot at in 9 countries, and none of it produced the specific ache of knowing your daughter doesn't count you as someone who lives in her world. The men around you carry the same weight. Divorce rates in the community hover near 85%. The bullets you can train for, the loneliness you can't. What happens when the silence follows you home? Stay with me. Level 7, the Senior Chief. E8, Senior Chief Petty Officer. Fewer than 2,000 senior chiefs in the entire Navy. In the special warfare community, a fraction of that. You've been selected by a board of Master Chiefs who reviewed every evaluation, every deployment, every commendation, every failure in your career. You made the cut. Most don't. You're the operations senior chief for an entire command now. 4 teams, 70 operators, plus support staff. You coordinate training cycles, deployment schedules, equipment across the command. You're the bridge between the commanding officer's intent and the team chiefs who execute it. When the CO wants the truth, not the sanitized briefing version, he comes to you. You deploy less now. When you do, you stand in tactical operation centers, watching drone feeds of raids you would have led 6 years ago. You feel something unexpected, envy. You miss the simplicity. Door, breach, clear, next room. Now everything is meetings and logistics. You've started attending funerals for men who didn't die in combat. Suicides. 3 in the last 18 months from your extended community. One was a man you mentored from his first team. You taught him wind calls. You stood beside him at his wedding. He sounded fine 2 weeks before he died. You believed him because believing was easier than asking the harder questions. You attend the memorial, and his mother looks at you like maybe you're the one to blame. You don't have answers. You just show up. What happens when the weight becomes too heavy to carry? Keep listening. Level 8, the Master Chief. E9, Master Chief Petty Officer. The highest enlisted rank in the United States Navy. Command Master Chief for a Naval Special Warfare Group. Thousands of operators and support personnel across multiple units. You're the senior enlisted advisor to a Rear Admiral. Your job is to be the voice of every enlisted warrior in the command. You sit in Pentagon briefings where decisions are made by people who've never put on body armor. You testify before oversight committees using language that is carefully honest and strategically incomplete. You sign condolence letters. You sit in living rooms with Gold Star families and look at photographs of men you sent into situations where dying was a realistic outcome. Sometimes a mother asks if her son suffered. You tell her he didn't. You don't always know if that's true. Your body is a catalog of damage. 2 knee replacements, a fused vertebra. Tinnitus so constant you've forgotten what silence sounds like. 26 years in. Married twice. The first ended because of the job. The second survived because she was a nurse who understood broken people. She sits with you on nights when the dreams come back. What happens when you finally hang up the trident? Stay with me. Level 9, the Trident. You retire. 29 years. The ceremony is small, a team room at the Special Warfare Compound in Virginia. 40 people attend. Not politicians, not generals. The operators, the chiefs. The men who went through the same doors you went through and came out the other side. Your commander reads a citation that describes your career in language that is technically accurate and emotionally insufficient. 10 deployments, 8 combat tours, a Silver Star for carrying a wounded teammate 300 meters under fire. The citation doesn't mention you were wounded too. A shadow box is assembled. Your trident, your rank insignia, your patches, your coins. Your career reduced to objects behind glass. You take a contractor job because they want your clearance. The work is adequate. It's not the same. Nothing will be. Your body wakes you at 5 a.m. because 29 years of muscle memory don't understand retirement. You mentor young operators who call about deployments and marriages and the darkness. You tell them the trident is the most important thing you'll ever earn and the most dangerous thing you'll ever carry. If this story moved you, subscribe for more untold truths about the warriors who serve in silence.